next up, we have Ziggy Rakovic from Hunch, where they personalize and scale your social creative with ease. Ziggy, take it away.
Thanks for everybody that's holding in after an hours of great presentations. It's great to be here. Thanks, Sean and Tom, for putting this together. It's crucial to sort of look at what's ahead in terms of the holidays and sort of plan out. So today we'll be talking about how do we dominate this holiday season with performance creatives, and what are sort of the impacts that that creators can have on holiday performance. Quick background. I am CEO of Hunch, and we are a company that's a global Facebook marketing partner. We work with lots of different brands across the globe. We're specialized for advertising technologies, and we build lots of different solutions, creative solutions across board for lots of different industries. And typically the reason why we exist, and one of the sort of topics that we're discussing today, is what are we actually heading into this holiday season, right? I think we can all agree that there is a massive growth of online commerce that's happened over the last 12 months or 18 months. So that's one trend that's definitely affecting what's going to happen this holiday season. The other one is, that we're shifting to mobile first content. If you look at Shopify's sort of purchasing behaviors of consumers, 70% of purchases, let's say in November of last year and the previous year, was 70% of that was actually on mobile, right? So when you have the most products you ever had before online, and you have the smallest screens that you ever had before online, you essentially get new sort of attention challenges that marketers are facing, that are faced with today, right? And if they don't solve for these challenges, they'll see higher costs. They'll see higher CPM, CPAs on Facebook, and they won't get the attention, right? We know that we have less than 2 seconds to grab somebody's attention, right? And so the question we ask is, for this holiday season, how do we grab that attention? In other words, how do we stop that scroll on Facebook, Instagram, and all the other channels where our buyers are at, right? And so one of the answers is that 71% of shoppers say that personalization definitely increases the likelihood of purchase, right? So the question is, how can we increase that likelihood of purchase? How can we increase a personalized, contextualized, and relevant sort of product offer for our audience? And so what Hunch does, and what we've worked with lots of different brands on, and we'll go through some of the cases and examples today, is how do we use the existing brand creatives and all the assets that a brand has? How do we combine that with data and performance data to drive that sort of creative production process and deliver those creatives at scale to those audiences that are in the market for the product that we have, right? And sort of the common denominator is, how do we do that without hiring 20 more people this holiday season to get that done, right? So at the 10,000 feet level, what we do as a company is we essentially unlock all of the data that you have, whether it's product catalog data, creative assets, locations, whatever that end factor is that you have, we unlock that and we pack that into these data feeds or catalogs that we combine and connect to our studio, where we then render and create thousands of different images and videos. So if you have a product catalog of 20,000, we can generate 20,000 videos on the fly, or images, or 100,000 images, so forth. So where we're different than most is that we both create all the images and videos, and then we also send them off to Facebook and Instagram, at the right time to the right person. And on the back end, we have an optimization engine that looks at what creative actually works for what audience, and what's actually getting the clicks, and what's driving the purchases. So at the sort of high level, it's unlocking the data you have for this holiday season, unlocking the creatives you'll be using across board for the holiday season, and then localizing that for all the audiences and personalizing those holiday offers. And so once we have the platform and process set up, and the ability to target those audiences with the correct product, there's lots of different solutions that you can build, lots of different playbooks that you can sort of enable. One is an on-brand sort of contextualized experience across the entire customer journey, from top funnel to bottom funnel, including images and videos for all the different products. It's combining also, like Google Analytics data. So looking at what are sort of the top products that are performing. What are sort of the hidden gems in your catalog that's driving sort of the add to carts, and that we can go after lookalike audiences of, and sort of creating a system of faster creative testing. At the very core, the question is, how do you do that without hiring a massive creative agency or creative team to do that? So we as a company have developed a sort of a creative decisioning engine that looks at the catalog data, it looks at the product, but it also looks at the data, the performance data, and also CRM data or audience data. And then on the fly, it creates those images and videos based on certain conditions being met. So is this a bestseller? Is it a top 10 product? that's being sold or add to cart, let's add that to a lookalike audience in video format. Is it on discount? Show the discount. Is it a new collection? Show the new collection. Is it a specific collection? Show that collection. And then we extend that data for, as the earlier speaker talked about, urgency data, which is like, how do we drive direct response? How do we drive clicks? How do we get that attention? So adding, the 3 days left, 2 days left, 1 day left, buy this product at this price. And so we do that at scale. So if you have 1 million products in your catalog, we will add this urgency layer, right, to every single product, re-render it and send it off to Facebook. So if they looked at product number 455,000, that product will have 2 days left on sale, right? And then we do that also for different audiences, male, female, and so forth. So we as a company work with you to sort of embed and plan and set up these campaigns. Then our technology does the production deployment optimization of all of the creatives and all the sort of media buying that's happening on Facebook and Instagram, creating these sort of operational efficiencies in getting that performance. So we can quickly ramp up to 240 different video ads. So here's an example of what we would call placement asset customization. So creating one set of design concept and having 10 different products that are top performers with testing different purchase motivators, right? Is it the free shipping that gets you? Is it the special offer? Is it the return promise of perfect fit for all the different formats? So you can see that you can quickly ramp up to lots of different videos that can be costly if you do it manually. Here's an example with one of the telcos and how we created sort of a combination of brand and performance, right? Where we took their existing assets, which was a TV ad that ran, that had different, characters running. So we did sort of a Netflix style testing out what, actor or what persona in that particular video gets the actual click or video throughs, right? And then infuse the product catalog data in the end for that specific audience, for that product, for that person that they were looking at. In this case, phones and plans. And so for different audiences, for different brands, it's different sort of data and creatives that are done. For travel, for them, it's destinations, it's locations, it's personalizing those customer journeys for people that are looking at specific flights, and then looking and personalizing those images and videos for those flights. Sometimes it's hard, but combining brand and performance has become pretty straightforward on Facebook, right? How do you combine those brand elements with performance data and performance creative? So with this example with Qatar, which I use because Qatar has very strict sort of on-brand elements, we were able to create thousands of different variations based on images from locations and destinations to drive a 5x return on Facebook for an airline company, which was pretty amazing for Facebook. Here's another example for how localization works and how actually it drives performance. We have on the left, if you're in a specific location like Sweden, you would get hit with, hey, fly from Stockholm to Belgrade. If you're in Helsinki, fly from Helsinki to Belgrade. And this would be localized for the language, for the price, for the currency, and so forth. So moving on. So here's a full funnel approach for L'Oreal's Urban Decay. And this is really important to note because this was all done dynamically through creative automation. On the left hand side we see sort of top funnel looking at bringing their creative elements to life, but also infusing the top performance into this video template that's sitting on the left. And then in the middle we're retargeting them, getting the attention in the first 2 to 3 seconds, and then all the way down to the right it's continuing that on brand customer journey for that specific campaign, the holiday campaign, with bottom funnel DPAs that are on brand. We can extract review data, anything that can actually move the needle in terms of click-throughs and engagement. We can add that on top of it as a layer to all of the creatives in the entire catalog. So what are some of the examples when we talk about holiday offers? There's going to be quite a few different holidays that are coming up. How can your brand personalize those holiday offers for your audience? So here are some examples. We take that catalog as mentioned. We have product name, product category, call to actions, price, discount prompts, whatever you have as a data set, right? Whatever you have as a data point, we can use that to drive that creative production process and combine it with the sort of creative layering process. So instead of doing dynamic ads with just the white background, we can now put them into any sort of creative element format with specific layers for that campaign. There's a slight lag, just a second. So one of the playbooks for this holiday season, for example, for Black Friday, is uncovering sort of the hidden gems that are sitting in your catalog, right? You may know that there's top 5 or top 10 products that are working, but how do you know product number 89 is not driving that sort of add to cart of purchases? So what we do is we develop playbooks where we combine Google Analytics data or any sort of performance data, just data, to see what actually works, and then automatically add that in a sort of branded Black Friday style template for all of the images in that collection. We can promote collections based on specific triggers. So if it's on discount, show the discount. If it's specific product collection, show that product collection in that format. So promoting entire catalogs and products. So instead of having one creative which would say, hey, all of our this entire collection is 10% off. Now we're sort of presenting all of the different products that are in that collection for that audience that's looking at that. So we can do that both in image and video format. So now creating videos, unlocking the ability to be creative and test lots of different call to action. Does the video with the price work? Does the price with the discount work? What actually drives those different conversion points is something that you can test fairly easily. Here's an example of adding that 1 day left, 2 days left, 3 days left, get these get this product at last chance to get. Top collection promotion. One of the things that we work with quite a few companies is figuring out what actually gets the people to stop the scroll, right? What is something that's going to drive that? So here's an example that we did where we actually infused tens of different types of products into a very fast moving video. We know that on Facebook, as you're scrolling through the feed, brain's super fast, right? So actually in the first 2 to 3 seconds, we need to communicate the brand, the product, the offer, and get that attention. And then so Black Friday, when we look at it as a sprint, it's really testing lots of different creatives for lots of different product collections. So in both an image and video format, this is a fake swipe out format where we're communicating again on brand sort of sales for all the different products. One of the things that brands are doing is testing lots of different lifestyle content. So every single brand has some form of organic content. Either you're working with an influencer, or you're working, or you have other lifestyle content. Using that content and repurposing that content in high sort of intent, videos on Facebook works really well. And then infusing that with product, information actually drives that conversion. Here's an example of segment asset customization for a CPG brand for P&G. It's essentially personalizing this holiday season. Like, this product is for, it's an odor killer, but then you buy that in different sort of, scenarios. So is it removing, odors of pets? Is it, for kitchen lovers, whatever it is. So segmenting, personalizing, contextualizing that product offer for that audience is really something you should be doing today on Facebook at scale. Obviously, working your top performance, knowing what are the top performance last 7 days, not last 7 months, right? So figuring out how do we connect Google Analytics data and say, give me the top 10 performers from this specific location for this specific product, and infuse that into an automated video to go towards lookalike audience and grab those new purchases. Valentine's collection promotion, again, it's testing different templates, for his and her collections with different products in different formats. So product shuffles, single product videos, slideshows. These are all different formats you should be testing at scale with different products in your collection to see actually which one actually gets the best sort of conversion. And then if you have locations, one of the playbooks that we built is sort of promoting store locations. So combining sort of location data with product data. So we can achieve something like, grab this product, combine it with Google Maps data and say, get this product at this location that's near you. Okay, so I'll stop it there. There's definitely, creative performance works. If, as you've probably heard somewhere else, it's really 70% of performance today on social and on Google actually is reflected on how much creatives work, right? So 70% of that is attributed towards creatives and testing. So we've seen uplifts in both, revenue and ROAS, and also campaign automation in terms of, operational efficiencies. And I'll stop it there.
Oops. Where's the poll? Thank you, Ziggy. Appreciate that. I want to launch your poll question here. If the audience could take a few seconds to answer that, it'd be appreciated. Thank you, Ziggy. Just a couple of questions. Does Hunch require, you showed a lot of different examples there, right? A lot of different ideas. With your current clients, would you say that it requires more people or fewer people to execute these types of campaigns?
Yes, that's a good question. I think it really depends on the playbook, but generally speaking, the team does not scale, right? So it's really about setting up the playbook and grabbing the data into the right, data sheet, and scaling that creative without actually scaling the team. I think that's, sort of the holy grail is how, today marketers are really sort of tasked with, doing more with less, right? Squeezing the lemon, as they say, in particular, due to COVID and everything else. But in general, you really, personalization works, right? So everybody knows that personalization works. The question is, how do you deliver personalization in an operationally efficient manner? That's the question, right? So how do you do that without, hiring 10 designers or hiring creative agencies or hiring media buying teams that will achieve that level of personalization? And so that's where, companies like Hunch come in, because we essentially bridge that gap, right? Between what you really want to achieve and what drives performance and what you really can't today with the current resources you have.
And that makes sense. And then the last question is, can you help us build customized creatives for our brand?
Yeah, so we have lots of templates that can be used out of the box. For holiday season, we typically work with brands and give them customized, branding based off of, whatever the current campaign creatives look like. So definitely our onboarding is pretty, sort of hand-holding in terms of looking, making sure the data feeds are correct, the catalogs are set up, the campaigns are set up, that the creatives are on brand for the holiday season. So we definitely step in and help you create those. And then you can scale that and use in different product catalogs, collections.
Excellent. Cool. Ziggy, thank you for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
We'll be sure to follow up.